everyone, my name is Peyton from Rackets Runners, and today I will be discussing the new Novablast 5 with you. Let's get into it. I'm a huge fan of and have a pair of the Novablast 4s, and Asics has continued along with giving you that good everyday runner slash workhorse style shoe with these new Novablast 5s. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe and give us a visit at racketsandrunners.ca. So what's new about the Novablast 5? In the Novablast 5, they have switched from the FF Blast Eco technology in the Novablast 4s, and they switched to the FF Blast Max technology in the Novablast 5s. What this means is that it is a more cushioned shoe that is actually a good deal lighter than the Novablast 4s while still giving you a very responsive push-off. Another upgrade to the shoe is that they changed the upper to a jacquard mesh technology, which I found to be a much more comfortable fit. One of the complaints about the Novablast 4 was that the upper was not as breathable, and I have found that this shoe does feel a bit more breathable than the Novablast 4s. They also allegedly added a little bit more of a reflective material to the shoe to enhance safety. To be fair, I haven't really tried them out at night to see if there is any reflection, but it does appear to be on the back of the shoe right here. In terms of fit, I found that the shoe fits very true to size, so no one needs to go up or down half a size in this shoe. It does have a slightly wider toe box than the Novablast 4, so it does give you a little bit more room in the forefoot, which is nice so your toes aren't squished. So when I'm wearing this shoe, it feels really nice. I find that it hugs me nice in the back of the shoe, but it doesn't cramp me in the front of the shoe. The volume of the shoe feels perfect, and so I have no notes on how it feels. Other than that, it's great. Moving on to cushioning, the Novablast 5 has a millimeter more of stack height in both the forefoot and the heel of the shoe. That means that, keeping in line with the Novablast 4, this shoe has a heel drop of 8 millimeters. This new cushioning system plus the 1 millimeter of added stack height really makes the shoe feel more plush, but it still maintains a quite impressive level of responsiveness, and I found that it felt even a little bit more responsive than the Novablast 4. The best way I can describe this more cushioned feel of the shoe is that it feels like it absorbs more of the impact, but then still gives you a really good springy trampoline-like feel when you're launching off, and it doesn't feel soft or mushy at all. So long story short, this shoe is more cushioned, more springy, and is lighter than the Novablast 4s. Moving on to the durability of the shoes, please keep in mind that I've only run about 40 kilometers in these, but even though it's a very well-cushioned shoe, it's not soft by any means, so I'm expecting the shoe to maintain and hit the average lifespan of about 700 kilometers that is expected of normal running shoes. Again, the cushioning of the shoes is not so soft, and I'm not expecting it to pack down very much at all, and if I'm taking my Novablast 4s into account, those have held up very well throughout their lifespan, so I'm expecting the shoe to also hold up well. As for the durability of the outsole, I personally have not run far enough to make a judgment call on how long they're going to last, but my Novablast 4s have lasted a long time, and Asics has said that they made improvements to improve the durability of the outsole, so I also don't think that's a worry. Some of the complaints I've heard in the running community about the Novablast 5s and 4s are about the outsole specifically, and the fact that people feel that it does not perform well in wet conditions. While we've had very unseasonably sunny weather here in Vancouver the past couple weeks when I've been trying these out, so I personally haven't been able to test it out on wet surfaces. I live in Vancouver, also known as Raincouver, so my Novablast 4s, I personally didn't notice any issues running in the wet weather with them or on the wet pavement, so I think these will be just fine unless you are maybe running a lot faster than me. I do have a Novablast 4 here, so I did want to show you some of the differences between the Novablast 4 and the Novablast 5. First and foremost, we already kind of went into the outsole differences in the shoes and the feel of the shoes, but I just wanted to show you side by side the differences in the outsole patterning, which you can see here. I also wanted to show you a flex test of the shoes because the new Novablast 5s are a lot more flexible than the stiffer Novablast 4s. So here's how stiff the Novablast 4s are. Here's how flexible the Novablast 5 is, which is really nice because I didn't feel like I felt unsupported by the shoe when I was running in it. Another design update would be the shape of the back of the shoe. You can see here in the Novablast 4, they had this big flare out in the back of the shoe, which wasn't everybody's favorite. So they really lessened that in the Novablast 5. So you can see here. Feel-wise, I'm a really big fan of this shoe, and so I found it very similar to one of my other favorite shoes, the Glycerin 21s. One of the bigger differences I felt between this shoe and the Glycerin 21s is that I actually felt like this was a slightly softer shoe, but still a springier shoe. So if you're wanting a little bit more responsiveness than the Glycerin 21s, this would be a good shoe for you. Another shoe that you could compare this to would be the Gel Nimbus. While I wouldn't say these shoes are the same type of shoe, it can really help you decide which shoe that you would prefer to go for. So this shoe, I would say, is a little bit more of a better everyday trainer, while the softer gel Nimbus is really good for long runs and recovery runs. The Novablast is going to be a lot more springy and responsive than the Nimbus, where the Nimbus is going to be softer, plusher, more cushioned. In comparison to some other shoes, if you want to take a look at New Balance, their Fresh Foam line is a lot softer and spongier than some of the other cushioning systems by other brands. If you're not necessarily the biggest fan of that spongy feel that New Balance provides, this would also be a good option for you because it's much more responsive, still gives you all of that really nice protective cushioning while not sacrificing that ground feel and springiness. That's going to be it for the review today. If you are interested in the Novablast 5s, come give us a visit in store or check us out online at racketsandrunners.ca.